This is TCR, TroyCommunityRadio.com. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN. Time now for the Mayor's Report, but this morning we're going to put a little twist on it. We have Jerry Mullins sitting in for the Mayor this morning.
Hi, Clint. Good morning. Glad to be here.
What is your official title with the city?
I am the street/waste department foreman.
Okay, which is kind of what we're going to talk about this morning. We'll start with the new trash cans that are being delivered. Now, those are the 65-gallon totes, just the same as what the recycle bins are.
That's correct. There are 65 gallons, and they'll hold approximately 5 to 6 13-gallon kitchen trash bags.
Okay. Now, those work in coordination with the recycle bins as well.
Correct. Yeah, we're still wanting people to use their recycling. In fact, we're promoting as much recycling as we can. You're allowed to get 1 to 2 additional recycling carts if needed, and we've had quite a few people take advantage of that. You know, you'll see some houses with 2 or 3 recycling carts out and 1 trash can, and that's generally what we want to get to. It would be great if everybody recycled everything they possibly could, because that ultimately reduces the amount of trash that's going to our landfills.
Well, that probably some of the question that some folks have, that they have maybe a lot of trash that's going out. They've got several kids at home, a lot of people in the house yet. But if you're really doing the work to separate, you really knock down the amount of trash that you have along with your recycling.
Definitely. If you've ever lived in communities that don't have their recycling and then they change, they always notice a huge improvement on how much trash they take out of their waste stream, how much tonnage they throw away. And if you really are diligent and try to recycle everything you can eliminate quite a bit of the amount of trash. Now, I understand if you've got kids in diapers, you're a large family, that possibly even no matter how hard you try, this can's just not going to be large enough for what you're wanting to do as far as get rid of your trash. And we're going to figure out a way to help those people out over the few weeks to months as the program gets started. We're not expecting anyone to hold on to trash. So we're asking everyone to please try, recycle as much as you can. We'll deliver you an extra cart if you want. But if after doing everything you can, you're still finding that you're having more bags than you can possibly get in that cart, then somewhere down the road we may come up with an option of a larger cart or an additional cart in order to help those families out. But we really want that to be the rarity, not the norm.
Okay. Now, the trash pickup in the new totes doesn't begin until May 1st, correct?
Yeah, and thanks for pointing that out, because people have received the totes, and we did send out a couple of mailers in our water bills for people to get. But some people, you get the bill, you see how much you owe, you chuck it in the trash, you pay the bill, and haven't really read the flyer that came. And a lot of people are putting the carts out now. But once again, we're a community that does everything we can to make sure that the service is provided. So we're still picking them up. It's really hard on the guys.
That's what I was going to say. It's an automated system is what it's going to. So the guys have to pick up these 65-gallon totes.
Correct. And it is hard on them, but we're getting them so far. So we're really asking, please don't use the cart till May 1st. Because for one, like I said, it's really a labor-intensive position to try to grab that big 65-gallon tote, because those totes are meant for automated systems.
They are awkward if you were.
Right.
They're made to roll down to the end of the driveway, and not so much pick it up and dump it out.
Correct. And if you get 5 or 6 kitchen trash bags in there, it could weigh 100 pounds, depending on what kind of trash you're throwing away in them. So we're asking everybody wait till the 1st and then put them out then.
Now, what I like about them is they're really super heavy duty, just like what the recycle totes are that we've already got. They're easy to wash out, keep clean. You'll keep the odor down around your house, and they have the attached lids, so those aren't going to blow off, and you're not going to have trash blowing out.
Correct. You're not going to have animals getting into them as easily as they do bags and cans, and you're not going to have the trash going out. And I'm glad you brought that up. We still want people to put their trash in a bag and then place it into the cart.
Right.
I mean, if you place it in the cart empty, or loose, we're still going to pick your cart up. But when that thing is lifted by the arm truck and the lid comes open as it's getting dumped, if you have loose trash on the top, it could possibly blow out or blow all over
on a windy day. Yeah,
on a windy day. So we're asking that you please, especially newspapers, things like that. I know a lot of people read the paper in the morning, they're on the way to work, they pop the lid open, they throw the paper on top of the trash. Chances are that's going to blow out the can when they're lifting it up. And not to mention, it helps keep the can cleaner and smelling better if you use bags.
Yeah, I do a lot of buying on eBay, and a lot of stuff comes packed in those styrofoam peanuts. Yeah. And I think the same thing. We've got the same tote, and I make sure that those are bagged up in a little plastic grocery store bag or something, because
Perfect.
That would blow around the neighborhood like snow.
Perfect. Yeah, you're exactly right. That happens quite a bit. Even now, people will throw those peanuts in their regular cans, and the guys pop the lid and they dump it, and those things
just
they
scatter everywhere. A little
right.
Static electricity, and then they're stuck to everything. So, and Dye Mill Road facility is open.
Yeah, Dye Mill Road facility. We opened it in March this year. We extended the hours down there. Now from Monday and Tuesday, it used to be open from 11 to or 3 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. Now it's open 11 to 7 on Tuesdays and Thursdays. So you got Monday and Tuesday 11 to 7, Thursday and Friday 11 to 7, and then you have Saturday 9 to 3, and they're closed on Wednesday. So we've increased an additional 8 hours down there for people to be able to get in.
Now that's open later on Saturday too. It used to, wasn't it open till noon?
No, it's always been
till
9
3?
to 3. Yeah,
okay.
It's always been 9 to 3.
But Wednesday and Sunday are the only days it's closed.
Correct.
All right. What kind of items do people can you take out to Dye Mill Road facility?
You can take your grass, you can take leaves, you can take sticks. If a tree blows over in a storm, you can cut that tree up and take it down there. We have contracted out to Resource Management out of Lima, and they keep a grinder down there now. So people who visit the Dye Mill facility will probably notice that we don't have that big giant pile of brush anymore, because he's regularly keeping that ground up, and it's just a much cleaner, more efficient way of maintaining that area and keeping up with the EPA rules and regulations that we have to deal with. So you can take concrete, rocks, dirt, sod, grass, pretty much anything that's considered yard waste. We don't want any treated lumber or any lumber of any kind down there. Pallets and things like that we don't take. It's unfinished lumber and things of that nature. Trees, brush.
So in no way, shape, or form is it where you take that couch you want to get rid of.
No doubt. Don't try to camouflage your couch with trees and take it down there and throw it out for brush.
So now, if folks can't make it out to the Dye Mill Road facility themselves, they can get the tea bags and fill those. They can get them at the City Building in True Value.
Correct. They're $1.25 a piece, and you place those out on your trash day, and we'll have a truck that comes by and gets it. And that's been a question that's been brought up about, you mentioned couches and tea bags. Or couches and special trash with the new cart program, we're asking you still put that stuff out on your trash day, your special trash, and just place it behind your cart.
Okay.
That way it's not in the way. And your tea bags are the same thing. You can place that in the curb lawn or away from your cart, you're still going to get the tea bags picked up. And you're right, those can be bought at True Value or City Hall. And we're asking that you put some, as you drive around town, you see some people will go around and pick up sticks out of their yard and just kind of pile them at the curb. The city doesn't pick those sticks up, and when we go to sweep that street, you got to kind of sweep around those, because they'll also clog the sweeper. So if you just get a tea bag, or if you don't want to purchase a tea bag, we just take some twine,
bundle.
tie those little sticks up in a bundle. Then that makes it easier to sweep your street. Your street can actually get cleaned, and it keeps those sticks and things, debris from washing down into the catch basin.
That's what I was going to add in, that keeping them bundled up or in the bags really does. It keeps that from, you get a good gully washer and keep them out of the sewers.
Yeah, and that's the whole reason, main reason we went to that. We still provide the service of picking up the brush and the tea bag, but we just need the citizens to tie that up so it's not loose in the street. And like I said, once again, when we're out sweeping, if you have something like that out, we have to go around it, and that just keeps the road from getting cleaned.
You kind of brought up a good point when you were talking about if you have the other big trash to sit it behind the totes. Let's talk about where those totes need to be when people take them down to the end of the driveway.
Okay, best case scenario, for making sure that the tote is not parked in front of and picked up without frustration is to have the wheels against the curb with the opening of the lid pointing towards the street. If you're going to have vehicles in your area, you might even want to scoot it out from the curb a foot or two. I know some people are saying it has to be 2 feet from the curb. That's not true. As long as it's in the road, you're not going to have anybody parking in front of it. Now, if you're fortunate enough that you live in an area where nobody parks in front of your house or in front of your curb, you can probably put it in the curb lawn.
Okay.
And that will be picked up. But I warn anyone against that, because if you put it in the curb lawn, the opportunity is there for someone to pull in front of it. And since these guys do not get out of the truck now, it's just going to be an arm. If they're not able to get to the cart, then they're not going to be able to pick it up. I will add, however, in the first few weeks of this process, we will be going the extra mile to move carts from trees and things like that. But when we dump it, we'll be putting it back where we would like for it to be. So when you come to pick your cart up, you're like, hey, I had it over here. Why is it over here? That's where we're wanting. Where we leave it is where be the best place for you to put it.
Okay. Now, the big question, say a senior citizen or someone that actually has some sort of limitations or physical handicap that they can't get those totes down to the driveway, or it's 3 times the size of what grandma is. Now, what do you do with this?
Well, what we're asking is, and I've already received some, believe it or not, doctors' notes, and not excuses, but doctors' notes claiming that certain individuals that they care for may not be able to manipulate this can. We're hoping family members can help out, because I myself or my brother takes my mom's trash out for her. Maybe a neighbor. I've had a couple of people call and say, I'm not going to be able to get my tote down, but I wanted you to know my neighbor is going to help me out and do that for me. That's great. But once again, just like with the excess trash, if for some reason physically you're not able to get your can to the road, we've already made a couple of policy changes for a couple of elderly people in town, where we just asked them if they'll set their cart outside their house by their garage, and they want to put a bag in there instead of wheeling it down or walking it down to the road, that we have an extra truck out that's picking up the special trash.
Okay.
And the tea bags. That truck, I'll get those addresses, and that truck will go up and get that trash for them. Because we don't want anyone to, be in danger trying to wheel this.
Right.
We're not trying to cause anybody any hardship by doing this. And we understand there's going to be people, well, some of the elderly people have called and asked if they can get a smaller cart, which we ran into that with our recycling. We ended up handing out about 78 smaller recycling carts. I believe somewhere down the road, just as with the additional or the larger cart, we may be offering a smaller cart for them. And that actually may be easier for them to manipulate and eliminate that problem. But for the first, weeks or months of the program, we'll monitor that. And I'll take calls, and I have taken calls.
That's what I was going to say. They need to get in touch with you to let you know in advance that something is up or something is going to be different with them.
Right, and if for some reason we don't hear from them as we're out picking up the trash first few weeks, as we see problems occurring, they'll go to call and say, hey, my trash didn't get collected, how come, or I can't get it down. You can call 335-1914. That's our maintenance facility. My extension is 1225. And you can get through to me or my voicemail, and I do return calls immediately if I can, and we will figure something out. Because like I said, I have an elderly mother. She generates about a bag of trash a week, if that, and we don't want people sitting around with trash in their house. So we'll do everything we can to help with that. In fact, on the 20th of this month, I'm going to be at the Senior Citizens Center to talk to some of them who asked that we come out, the mayor and I, and give them a briefing and a quick synopsis on how this all is going to unfold. And I may even take addresses and numbers then of people who already think, man, I don't need to wait a few weeks. I'm telling you right now, I'm not going to be able to do this. I'll get some numbers and stuff then, and we'll work with people. We're not about not providing the service. We're about trying to get into the, this century. This is the way most communities are going with trash, but we understand we might have to make some changes or some adaptions to some people to help them out, and we're willing to do that.
I have to say, I've already been working with the 65-gallon totes. A lot easier than dragging a trash can out with the wheels. You barely have to tip it, and you can get it to go down the driveway real easy. So yeah, look forward to seeing this change. It's great that you guys will be open to work with some of these people too.
Right, and I say that the same as I said with the extra carts. We really want that to be the rarity, not the norm. But we understand. I did some checking with other communities that switched to this program from trash, like we were collecting trash, and switched to this, and they had the same issues. 40 or 50 people just weren't able to do this. We got people that live on top of hills that we already adapted that for, where we took the trash out of the alleys. But you have some residents that live on ridge. They're up on the mountain up there.
Right.
There's no way you're going to expect them to wheel that all the way down that hill. So we went to picking up their trash in the alley, and we kept that alley open just for that reason.
Okay.
And we're still willing to do things like that. One other question that's come up is what happens if the cart's damaged? The company that we deal with has a 10-year non-prorated warranty. If your cart is damaged for any reason, once again, call the 335-1914 number, and it'll be replaced free of charge, or we'll come out and repair it.
Okay. Anything else that you can think of to add to this?
I'm sure there's a million things I could, but I can't think of them right now.
All right. Hey, Jerry, thank you so much for stopping in this morning and talking about this with the new trash totes. The pickup, now, are all the cans out now?
No, we still have Thursday's route and Friday's route to deliver, and I think we'll probably be done with that sometime, if not by the end of next week, sometime in the middle of the week prior to the program starting.
But they'll all be out and ready to go come May 1st.
Oh, definitely. You'll have your cart within a week of the program starting, for sure.
All right. Well, I know you're always a busy man. We see you out and about in downtown Troy. So we'll let you go. Thank you so much for coming in and talking with us this morning.
Thank you, and I look forward to doing this again sometime.
All right. Jerry Mullins sitting in for Mayor Bemis this morning on the Mayor's Report. I'm Clint Myers on 107.1 WTJN.